So a yin practice is a little bit different from what you're used to doing with me, just because we're going to be holding the postures a little bit longer. I said 5 minutes in my write-up. Some of them are only going to be about 3 minutes. The more heat producing postures, I'll only hold for about 3 minutes. The ones that I consider to be a little bit more strenuous, though nothing is terribly strenuous, but when we do the back bend, we'll only hold that for 3 minutes. So it'll vary somewhere between 3 and 5. And usually the way I teach this class and the way I learned how to teach yin yoga is as a very quiet class. So I'm not going to give a whole lot of direction. I'll get you into the posture and talk to you a little bit about it. Then at the beginning, I have chosen to read an affirmation from a deck of affirmations that I really like by Louise Hay. They're the ones that I share at the end of class. And I'm going to share one at the beginning of each one of the postures. And that will just give you something to either ruminate on or let it sink in or let it go completely, whatever you want to do with it. So, and other than that, it'll be pretty quiet until we move on to the next posture. So that's how I'm planning on running this class. So in a yin class, we really want to concentrate on letting go. So it's a good practice for kind of finding those layers of tension that we hold in our body and being able to release those layers of tension. Some of the postures, you'll feel like you're coming more to an edge than others in the more challenging positions. So coming to your edge, but to a bearable edge. So we don't want it to be like crazy uncomfortable or anything like that. And then once you get into the position, if you can, try to be as still as possible and stay there for the whole time. Obviously, if your foot is falling asleep or whatever's happening in your body that's uncomfortable, then shift and change that. But otherwise, we're going to try to stay very still. Yin practice will allow us to get into our connective tissue. And yogis will tell you that it's in the connective tissue that our energy flows. So that would be the conduit for our energy body is the connective tissue fascia. And so this allows us to get a little bit deeper into those places in our body, deeper than if we were just holding postures for 3 to 5 breaths, which is what I usually do. So once you get into your posture, just hang out, relax, get comfortable, and let go. And then I'll tell you when it's time to move to the next one. We're going to start on our backs today. So put yourself in either Shavasana or constructive rest pose. So constructive rest, for those of you who don't know what constructive rest pose is, that's when we're on our backs, bending our knees, feet are coming wide, and knees are dropping together. Or you're in Shavasana. We're going to start with breathing just like we always do. With your hands either here on your belly or out beside you, or in another comfortable position. It doesn't really matter where you put your arms for this. And then we're going to feel the floor underneath us. So just feel the floor that you're resting on, feel the earth underneath you, and allow yourself to sink in and relax all physical tension that you can right at the very beginning here. Notice the breath flowing through your body. So just kind of watch the next few breaths as they move in and out of your body. You can deepen the breath if you want to, or you could just watch the natural breath. And when your mind wanders away, as it often does, bring it back to the breath. Watch the in-breath, watch the out-breath, and notice the spaces in between. Then we're going to start to change the breath. And we're going to do what's called a ratio breath. So to your count of 4, we're going to breathe into your count of 4, hold the breath into your count of 4, blow the breath out to your count of 4, and hold the breath out to your count of 4. So you're doing 4, 4, 4, 4 at the speed that's just right for you. Let's do that for the next couple of minutes. Now let your breath just return to the natural breath. We're going to bend one knee if it's not already, and then the other. And then let's pull both knees into the chest, and we're going to wrap our arms around and hold. This is our first posture. In the Yin practice, they don't use Sanskrit names for postures. So in the Yin practice, this is called reclined child's pose. So let's hold reclined child's pose. If you feel your chin lifting up towards the ceiling, then put a little blanket underneath your head. Make sure that your chin is pointing down towards your knees. Relax as much as you possibly can. So hold on to your wrist or your hand here in the center of your knees so that you can relax your arms and your shoulders. And then feel the earth underneath you and sink in. Part of the Yin practice is just melting and letting go. Find your way to the breath in every posture and feel the rhythm of breath in your body. Allow the exhalation to relax you. So every time you exhale, feeling a little bit more relaxed. Freedom is my divine right. Freedom is my divine right. I am free to think wonderful thoughts. I move beyond past limitations into freedom. I am now becoming all that I am created to be. Freedom is my divine right. Let's release the arms and let the arms slide right out to the T position. Palms turned up towards the ceiling, and let your knees travel over to the right side. So we'll come into a supine twist, twisting your knees to the floor. Now this might be a spot where you say, I'd like to be a little bit more comfortable, so I'm going to add a pillow underneath my knees so I have something to sink into. Or you might say, I don't like the way my knees feel when they're not right on top of each other. So I'm going to put a block in that space and fill it in. So those are choices. Your knees could be higher, closer to your armpit, or they could be lower, further away. You decide what feels best for your back, and then let yourself sink in. Shoulders should be on the floor, flat on the floor. And then we let go. Just like with any of the yin postures, we completely surrender to the shape, to the form of the pose. Allow yourself to be this form, and then let go of the layers. Try to always find your way back to the breath. So the breath is your anchor so that your mind doesn't start racing. Let your breath be what your mind comes to over and over again. I am at peace with my age. I am at peace with my age. Each age has its own special joys and experiences. I am always the perfect age for where I am in life. I am at peace with my age. Now let's slowly begin to move the knees to the other side. One knee and then the other follows it. Shoulders are still flat on the ground. Prop up your knees as you need to, and then we relax once again. The practice is letting go and letting go and letting go. I love and approve of myself. I love and approve of myself. I appreciate all that I do. I am good enough just as I am. I speak up for myself. I ask for what I want. I claim my power. I love and approve of myself. From here, we'll move into reclined butterfly. So the top leg will float to the other side, and the soles of your feet will come together. Now, this is where I feel like you'll either need blocks or your pillows or your blankets, whatever prop you have, to slide underneath your knees. That'll bring the floor up to you, and you'll be able to relax a little bit better. When your legs are hanging up in the air without support, you're going to feel a little bit more tension through your hip flexors in the front of your thighs. So putting a little something under there to create the illusion of having the floor coming up to your knee or your knee coming to the floor is going to be helpful for you to relax. And we're going to be here in this position for 3 minutes. So finding your way into reclined butterfly. And then, as in every yin posture, we're letting go. We're absolutely melting. Melting is a good word for a yin practice. So if you can imagine yourself just giving way, letting the boundary of your skin dissolve, and let yourself sink in as much as you can. Then find your way back to the breath, as always. I am beautiful and everybody loves me. I am beautiful and everybody loves me. I radiate acceptance and I am deeply loved by others. Love surrounds me and protects me. I am beautiful and everybody loves me. Now let's draw the knees back into the center and we'll pull them into the chest again. So coming into reclined child's pose. Once again, this time we'll hug the knees and we'll let our whole body rock side to side. So giving your legs a little rest. That can be a strenuous position. And then we're going to straighten the legs out. So the legs are going to come all the way straight on the ground. We're going to let the arms lift up overhead. And we're going to do what the yin folks call banana pose. We call this supine moon pose, but we're going to walk the feet to the right. So we're going to make ourselves look like a banana, basically, on the ground. And then we're going to slide the shoulders also to the right. And then the arms are going to slide off to the right side. So you feel like you're elongating through the left side. We want the whole back body to be flat on the floor here though. And we're going to relax here. Usually I would have you grab your wrist, but I think that's a little bit too much effort for this practice. So we're just going to relax here. If you only have one arm over your head, that's an option too. Let it be your left arm. Your right arm could be down beside you if you don't feel comfortable with both of the arms lifted. So relaxing your whole back body, hips and shoulders onto the floor. And then melting in to the earth, softening, letting go of the tension through your arm, through your shoulder, through your jaw, through your hip. And breathing into the left side of your body. I deserve the best, and I accept the best now. I deserve the best, and I accept the best now. I am mentally and emotionally equipped to enjoy a prosperous and loving life. It is my birthright to deserve all good. I claim my good. I deserve the best, and I accept the best now. Now let's slide right back through the middle and over to the other side. So the legs walking over to the left, hips stay flat on the floor, the shoulders walking over to the left, the shoulders staying flat on the floor, and either both arms overhead or your right arm overhead. So now we're finding the space through the right side of the body. So banana on the other side. And then sinking in, settling in, relaxing and letting go. Focused on the breath or the places where you feel sensation. I let go of all expectations. I let go of all expectations. I flow freely and lovingly with life. I love myself. I know that only good awaits me at every turn. I let go of all expectations. Now from here, let's walk back to the center of the mat. So the feet coming back to the center, the arms and shoulders coming back to the center, and we're going to log roll all the way over to your stomach. So you can either log roll or you can sit up and come to your stomach. Log rolling is more fun. Okay. So you're on your stomach. Here's our one back bend that we're going to do, Sphinx pose. So we've got our elbows right underneath our shoulders, forearms parallel to each other. We're lifting. This is a little bit more active than the other ones because we're lifting our head right out of our shoulders. So instead of sinking, like it's so easy to do here, we're going to lengthen. So there's a little bit more effort. If you want to, you can let your head drop down and bring your chin to your chest. If that's more relaxing and feels like a nicer way to hold, feel free to do that. The other thing you could do if you don't want to put in so much effort is put your forehead on a block and bring your arms out just a little bit wider so that you can relax a little bit more in this position. So the choice is really yours. How much effort do you want to put forth here? And we'll be here for 3 minutes. Every thought I think is creating my future. Every thought I think is creating my future. The universe totally supports every thought I choose to think and believe. I have unlimited choices about what I think. I choose balance, harmony, and peace, and I express it in my life. Every thought I think is creating my future. Now from Sphinx pose, we'll move into child's pose. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, bring yourself into child's pose. Take your knees a little bit wide. And this might be a nice place for you to add a pillow or two, or a pillow and a blanket, and relax into your child's pose. If this doesn't work for your knees, come back to your back and do the reclined child's pose that we started with. This can be quite comfy if you add a couple of layers of props here underneath your chest. Turn your head one way or the other. Or you can simply be in child's pose with no props. If you want to stay a little bit more neutral, stay on your forearms. And relax. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves, supports me. I breathe in the fullness and richness of life. I observe with joy as life abundantly supports me and supplies me with more good than I can even imagine. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. Now let's lift out of our child's pose, come all the way up to a seated position. And we're going to move into the next posture, which is called deer pose. So in deer pose, we're going to take the right leg out in front of us, kind of, so it's, if you're situating yourself on a mat, so your leg, your lower leg is going a little bit more towards parallel with the front edge of your mat. We're going to put that leg in a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to take the left leg and do the same thing behind us. From here, so you can decide how close or far your legs are. And when we get into the rest of the posture, you'll see what I mean. This is going to be a twist. Okay, so we're sitting here. You might feel like you need to prop up your right hip on a blanket here. You're going to put yourself in a position that feels comfortable. You also might feel like coming to the top of this foot is more comfortable than being on the big toe side. But we're trying for a 90-degree angle and a 90-degree angle here. And then we'll rotate to the right. So we'll bring the left hand to the right knee and the right hand on the floor next to you, or a block if that feels more comfortable. We're not going to hold this one as long. It's a little bit challenging, I think, because of the position of the back leg. So we'll take this one for 3 minutes on each side. If you're more comfortable just stacking your legs, you say, I can't hold my legs in that position for that long. Just stack your legs like this and find your way into the twist. And then relax as much as you can. Release as much tension as you can, especially through your neck, through your shoulders, through your jaw, the places where we start to hold tension when we're feeling a little bit stressed. And take some nice deep breaths to let go. I am worth loving. I am worth loving. I do not have to earn love. I am lovable because I exist. Others reflect the love I have for myself. I am worth loving. And now we'll bring the legs, we'll untwist and bring the legs through to the other side. So let your legs drop over towards the left side. We're going to line the shin up as best we can to parallel with the front edge of your, or the back edge of your mat, I guess it would be now. About a 90-degree angle here. And then the back leg, we're going to put that as close to 90 degrees as we can, deciding whether you like to be on more on the top of your foot or the big toe side. That's going to really depend on where your leg ends up. If your knees are closer together, it's probably going to be more comfortable to be on the top of your foot. So you decide where you can hold and be comfortable. Lengthen the spine, and we're going to make that rotation to the left with the right hand to the thigh, the left hand on the floor or a block, letting your head also rotate, keeping the heart lifted, shoulders, neck, jaw relaxed, and finding our way back to the breath. I am flexible and flowing. I am flexible and flowing. I am open to the new and changing. Every moment presents a wonderful new opportunity to become more of who I am. I flow with life easily and effortlessly. I am flexible and flowing. And then let's unwind. And we'll come to our hands and knees. From here, let's slide. We're coming to what they call sleeping swan, the yin people. So sleeping swan, what we call pigeon usually in our practice. So we'll slide the right knee forward and the left leg back. This is where I might suggest, if your hips are tighter and you're lifted way above the ground here, fill that space in with a blanket. We're coming to sleeping swan. So you're either going to come to your forearms or all the way down and allow yourself to melt into your knee. If that doesn't work for you because your knees are finicky, then you're going to flip back over to your back and do our 4 square posture. So crossing the right leg over the left, picking up the left foot, passing the right hand through the space and wrapping around. This is a place where you could also use your strap if you have a strap available. So you would have to put forth a little less effort to use a strap. But wherever you are, clasp your hands here and just relax. Try to relax your arms, your shoulders, your neck, your face. If you're in your sleeping swan, in the prone position, melting down over the knee, getting as soft as you can. There's that word melting again. Letting go completely as best you can, giving way to gravity. I listen with love to my body's messages. I listen with love to my body's messages. My body is always working toward optimum health. My body wants to be whole and healthy. I cooperate and become healthy, whole, and complete. I listen with love to my body's messages. Now let's slowly begin to lift up and away from the knee. Bring yourself back into your table, and we'll make the shift to the other side. So the left knee coming forward, right leg extending behind you. If you're on your back, change legs. So the left leg will cross over the right leg, and the left hand and arm will go through the space between your legs. Let's begin to sink into this side. Relax your shoulders as much as you can. From the jaw, often when we're stretching the hips, we hold through the jaw. So relaxing there, finding your way back to your breath. Every exhalation allows you to get a little bit softer, a little bit quieter. All is well in my world. All is well in my world. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. All is well in my world. Let's begin to slowly release from this side. We'll come all the way up to a seated position as the transition to our back. So we're going to end up going to our backs, take a block with you. If you don't have a block, you could use a pillow. We're going to come to supported bridge pose. So we'll come down to our back, lift up your hips and slide your block at its lowest setting. So it's the thinnest from the floor to your hips. And we'll hang out here in supported bridge. If you don't like the way this feels, then an alternative for you would be maybe to put your legs up on a chair, the edge of your bed, your couch, be in this position instead, if you don't like the way it feels to be up on the block. And we'll be here for about 3 minutes. So remember, when we're in bridge pose, we always keep our eyes on the ceiling, never turning our head side to side, relaxing your hips heavily into the block, softening the shoulders, the neck and the face. The arms are heavy on the floor. And we find our way, as always, back to the breath. My healing is already in progress. My healing is already in progress. My willingness to forgive begins my healing process. I allow the love from my own heart to wash through me, cleansing and healing every part of my body. I know I am worth healing. My healing is already in progress. And then we'll lift the hips off of the block, remove the block. And now we'll move into relaxation. So finding your way into Shavasana, which in the Yin tradition is called pentacle pose. Legs are straight, arms are out beside you, take up lots of space, palms facing up, or you can come back into your constructive rest pose the way we started, with our feet wide and our knees dropping together. Arms are out beside traditionally, though sometimes I find it comforting just to have my hands on my belly. So you decide where you want to be for relaxation. Get comfortable. This might be the time that you like to cover up, because we're going to be here for about somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. So if you're the person who gets cool lying on the floor for a long period of time. Use your blanket either on top of you, or you might like to have something underneath your head. Wherever you are, this is our last posture, our last practice for letting go, finding all of those hiding layers of tension, like the onion, peeling them away, layer by layer by layer. And as we lie here in Shavasana, connected to the earth and connected to our breath, using the phrase, perhaps, I am loving awareness, and wrapping yourself in loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. And then when you feel like you've sunk in and relaxed as much as you possibly can, find a little bit more. Soften the edges. Sink in and allow the earth to hold you. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. Now for the next couple of breaths, let's just focus on a deeper inhalation and a longer exhalation. And then let's slowly let the body begin to move again, starting with fingers and toes, maybe circling wrists and ankles, letting your head turn. And then let's bend one knee and then the other. And we'll roll to the right side and come into this place between our practices, our practice on the mat, our practice off the mat. And just relax here as we slowly make this transition. Take a couple breaths here. Invite gratitude into your heart for this affirming practice, this deeply relaxing practice. And then when you're ready, pushing yourself all the way up, we'll come to an upright seated position once again. And just notice how you feel. It's always good to just kind of evaluate how your body's feeling, how your energy feels, how relaxed you feel, maybe a little more calm than when we started. And let's bring our hands in front of the heart center as we close this practice together. Finding our way back to the breath, our oldest, dearest friend. May peace, joy, love, compassion, and gratitude fill your heart today and every day to overflowing. Namaste. And thank you for joining me today. And I hope to see you this weekend. If I don't, have a happy Passover, happy Easter, whatever you're celebrating, if you celebrate. And thank you very much.